All right, good evening, everyone. Simmer, simmer.
No side conversation.
No, welcome this nice and kind of interesting rainy February evening to our annual meeting. We'll call to order right on time at 6 p.m., so thank you for coming. We'll start with introducing ourselves. So I'll start off. My name's Tracy Lunzer. I'm the president of the board here at Backus, and we'll have Lois, if you want to kind of start with introducing. Or
I'm Lois Lundeen, and I'll stand in a minute here, but I'm the director here at Backus. Welcome, everyone.
Do you have to stand in?
You don't have to stand.
whatever you want.
My name is Alyssa. I work in the office. Thank you.
I'm Darcy. And Washington Kid, you don't know me.
And then our members here, if you want to introduce yourself, feel welcome. If you don't want to, just pass it along. But board members, do introduce yourselves.
Harold Johnson. Who are you?
Gene.
Children. Have children. That is dead.
Gretchen Davis.
Howard Davis, and I'm not anybody at Backus.
You're somebody when you visit. Patty Line, I'm on the operations committee and the secretary.
Julie Barkowski, I'm a board member on the operations committee.
Jim Lyman, I'm on the board and also the operations committee.
Gail Rodriguez, I'm chair of the AMP Arts and Programming.
Sue Nordquist, and I'm a board member.
Gene Edberg.
Michelle Volk, event coordinator.
Steve Costley, board member and vice president. Jason.
Mike Williams, board member for just 1 year now. Proud to be here. Also on the operations committee.
Tom Smith.
I'm on the operations committee board member.
All right, and last but not least, we have... Oh, Donna, you're muted. Or I don't know if it works.
Oh, we should have sound, but for whatever reason, maybe we don't.
That's sign language.
Sign language for my name is Donna Frederickson.
Yeah.
And she is on.
That's Donna, she's here. All right.
Just go like this, we can't hear you.
All right, so we'll...
Technology is our friend.
But we're very thankful that she's able to attend all the way from Florida, which is very, very cool.
Can you hear us?
And you can hear us? Okay, so we're halfway there. We got it halfway. So we'll move on. The next item that we need to do is approve the minutes from the 2023 annual meeting, which is just on the next page in your packet. So what we need is just a motion and a second for that.
So moved.
Okay, so we have a motion by Julie and a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed, same sign? Okay, all in favor, the motion passes to approve the minutes from the 2023 meeting. The next item, hello, welcome.
Thanks.
So we next need to nominate and elect the new board members. And this can be a lengthy process because we have to just call for nomination 3 times. So if you're thinking about it, you're not sure if you want to nominate anyone, you have 3 opportunities to do it. So what we have is the following nominees are presented for election to the Citizens of Backus AV Board of Directors for a 3-year term, 2024 to 2027. Those members are Donna Frederickson, Jim Lyman, Mike Williams, and any nominations from the floor. We don't have to have a nomination from the floor, but there is an opportunity if anybody wants to nominate from the floor. So for the first opportunity, how is it worded? We will just call for any nominations for board of directors for this position, going once. Is there time we have to? Oh, okay. So then we will call for a second opportunity for any nominations from the floor, or to also put forth the 3 nominations in the packet for Donna, Jim, and Mike, or any nominations from the floor.
I would make a motion for the present members, Donna Backus, Jim Lyman, and Mike Williams, to retain their membership on the board.
Okay, so we'll take that motion.
One more time, calling for nomination, then we'll take that motion.
Okay, so we'll call one more time for any nominations from the floor. We've got that nomination standing, and we've got the 3rd opportunity for nomination from the floor. Okay, so we've got the motion from Gail for approving the 3 incumbent nominees of Donna Frederickson, Jim Lyman, and Mike Williams. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. And then all in favor for that motion?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed, same sign? All right, well, that passes. So welcome again to Donna, Jim, and Mike to continue on the Backus board. We appreciate everyone's service here, so it's very exciting that people are continuing with us. So
I think they deserve a round of applause.
yes. Absolutely. To continue to do that and to do that is really good. And we had nobody surprised anyone with nominating their friend or their neighbor or anything like that. So so that takes care of that. So then we'll move on to reviewing and going over the committee reports, which we will turn over to Lois.
Donna, if you have any messages or anything for us, just send a text, send a message, and then or put it in the comment section, and then okay? Thank you. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Lois Lundeen. I'm the Executive Director. I'll start with my report that you'll find in your booklet. There are a number of things that I listed out that we worked through over the course of 2023, and I want to call your attention to some of them. Some of these items are also listed in the operations, and Patty Balan will be talking about those exciting developments in our building. But 2023 was a really very good year for Backus. We have grown and things have changed in Backus, and I'm very proud and very happy to be here. This is a great place to work. I've said, I repeat words many times in that this is truly the best job I've had ever. It's a lot of hard work, but it is wonderful to see so many things come to fruition for our community. So hats off to the board, hats off to our staff for helping to make that happen. It takes a lot of volunteers and a lot of people to make all of this work. So my personal thank you to everyone. I know Hua and Alyssa and Michelle introduced themselves, and I want to thank them. They're great staff to have here on board. Everyone adds so much to our customer experiences when they come in the door. We couldn't do it without them. Darcy, you're everywhere in this town, covering everything and putting information out to our community. When I write grants and I write about KCC TV, I talk about how our community has a newspaper that's published one day a week. Darcy is at all of these events, and she's putting out information about meetings. Sometimes she works hand in hand with the Daily Journal or not the Daily Journal, Gazette, and with the folks at the city. They share technology so that they get this coverage out to everyone. So thank you for all that you do to help getting news and events and happenings in our community out to everyone in such a timely manner. We have people. And the radio station, yes. It's very interesting to see from time to time that there are people all around the world who are watching what's going on. You think about people who have moved from here to very remote places or very different places. Those people are dialing in. You can see it on YouTube. We get reports of people from Europe and different places that are dialing in to see what's going on back home. That's really cool to be able to offer that. And we promote that. So thank you. This year we also hired Joe Martinez. He is a part-time custodian, and he's a bit of a seasonal employee, and I can hardly wait for him to get back here. There's always things to do, but Joe is a great add to our group. And we have also hired John Harris as a contractor to help be our boiler technician, and he does a great job here taking care of our boiler and our water systems. Having that new boiler up and running has taken a lot of hands to make it all run right. But John is doing a great job in helping to keep us going the direction that we need to go. So we're very grateful to have him on board. One other person that I want to introduce to you, and he's not on staff, but he has done an awful lot of work for us, is Gene Edberg. Gene came to us. He has done a lot of our woodwork in the building. He did some refinishing of some of the woodwork that is in our room 104, helped bring life back to some of our doors. And he has a new project. He's going to start working on these tables, and I'm very excited to have them restored and uncovered. It'll be great. So I'm really looking forward to that. We really appreciate your time, your talent, and everything that you bring to Backus. Thank you. Thank you. A couple of the things that I want to talk about in this report, you're going to hear more about the Otto Bremer Trust grant funding that we received last year. We, in late August of 2023, we sold the Alexander Baker building, and we were also awarded a very nice grant from the Otto Bremer Trust, which allowed us to pay for the lion's share of the boiler and the work that had to be done. I am very pleased to report to this group, and I'm not afraid to tell people in our community that we did not incur any additional debt to put that boiler in this building. We did not have to take out a loan to do that, and I think that's remarkable. We have had a great partnership with Otto Bremer Trust. The Alexander Baker Partnership has been wonderful to work with, and our local contractors have all been very generous and very good to Backus. So when you're working with Josh Urban's Up North Electric, Shannon's, Pelland and Swenson, these folks, they just went out of their way to make this a good experience. Our Alexander Baker team, when you see them, thank them. I just can't say enough good. We have a lot of programs and activities that are happening at Backus, and things are growing. Our music program is tremendous. We had a summer lunch program for kids and summer arts, and was that ever a lot of fun? I am not a tie-dye girl, but I really had fun doing tie-dye with the kids and lots of crafts. So we're looking forward to this summer's program as well. Michelle just did an outstanding job lifting that back off of the ground. We hadn't had summer arts for a little while because of the pandemic, but Michelle came in and just breathed new energy into that, and I'm very grateful. So Michelle, thank you. Boys and girls basketball is busy every night here through the end of February, but we also have pickleball and volleyball leagues that are here. People are coming, and there are just over 50 kids, 50 kids downstairs in the wrestling program. They are teaching these kids to be fine young people. Not only are they learning sportsmanship, but they are also learning to be good people. It's a great program, and we're very proud to have the Mustangs here in our building. Music students, Michelle, you told me, and this is later on in the report too, but we have 30 kids here taking music, not only kids, but we have 30 people here taking music lessons, and she hasn't even advertised yet. So it's very incredible. It's great to have that music. It's everything from stringed instruments, piano, guitar. Darcy is teaching. How many students do you have, Darcy? 9 students on ukulele and guitar. It's everywhere, and it's all ages. It's just great, and it's growing. Very pleased with that. So please do take some time, read through the executive director's reports. If you have any questions, you can ask them here. You can come to me at any time and ask questions that you might have about what's happening at Backus that I have listed on that report. Anything right at present for questions? Okay, then I will turn it over to Tom Smith. Tom is going to talk about the treasurer's report.
Okay, I'm going to go through the finances and such. It'll be a summary. The data that you'll be looking at is on pages 8 and 9. It's a 6:15. The first break is going to be at 7:30. Okay, so just so you know, so pace yourselves. Okay. The Backus has two expense lines, really, an operating income and expense line and a non-operating. Our operating expense line is funded predominantly by our business operations, rentals, fees, some grants and things like that. Okay, the expenses incurred are things like keeping the building running, utilities, food, and those types of things. And on that, we had $658,000 on the income side. The expense side was $664,000, so it was a little more, but we had a high inflation, and we had just a lot more activities than really we expected also. So we did fine there. It's a good rule of thumb that I always have is it costs $2,000 a day to keep this house open. And this year Lois did it for a little over $1,800 a day, so that was a good result. On our non-operating side, the income was $544,000. That was grants, the AB sale, and then an insurance proceed. And on the expense side of that, which was for our boilers, the floor projects, and some other minor projects around those projects, was $558,000. So we were over the expense line there to the tune of about $14,000. But if we look at that on a percentage basis, it's not a bad result, given the inflationary pressures we've had, that we're all aware of, obviously. Further down the page, we've got the government support and the grants. Those are our major sources of funding, in addition to our operating income and such. Now, these are distributed amongst both accounts, both operating and non-operating, but it just gives you an idea of where the money comes to run the house. And Lois alluded to that we took on no debt obligations as a result of our work. And if we go to page 9, down on long-term liabilities, we can see $316,924 is our current debt load. And what's important about that is that on January 1, our debt load was $351,000. So all of the work was done, and all of the bills were paid, and the business was open and ran, and we were able to reduce our debt to the tune of $32,000 too, which is a good trend, of course. So going forward, I would say our finances are strong, and we're in fairly good shape going forward. Our cash up on the top there, you can see we have a fair amount of cash on board to handle things that come along, business issues that come along, and our normal operating. So we're in a solid position based on the numbers. Are there any questions or anything? Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Just because you told me to ask one.
Oh.
The one thing's not listed in here is membership.
Yeah.
My question is that's strong and something that we improved upon?
I'm going to defer that question to, me saying yes doesn't count. Lois and Wall have to say yes. Based on what I see about activities, because I'm in the building a lot, I see a lot of people, the building's being used, and I think our membership is doing just fine, but I want to hear it from Lois and or Wah.
Our membership is up significantly this year. We projected our membership number would be at about 30,000.
Yeah, we budget 30,000, we brought in 39,000.
Yes.
So membership income 2022 was very good.
It's very good. And we're looking at ways that we can incent people to, and benefits for being members at Backus Community Center. So we're hoping to keep that trend going upward.
Any other questions or anything? Well, good. I must say, too, whenever I walk in the building and I see Darcy, I always ask her to keep me off TV. She failed again. So just so you know, if you ask her to keep you off, she'll put you on. That's it? Good. Thanks, folks.
So, Operations Committee and the Executive Committee work together a lot. So, we've combined some of our reports with Lois, and Lois has reported on several of the projects that happened around here. But if you look at page 10 and 11, These are the construction highlights. The big thing was in the basement was removal of the old boilers. And the AB project, the new AB project has saved those big doors, and they're going to mount at least one of them, I think, in both of them in the building over there and have them on display. So that's pretty cool. John Faith would be pretty happy about that. And it looks totally different in the basement. It's just so cleaned out and upscale now, and our new boilers are great, and everything's working as it should. I have to give a shout out to Tom and Jim and Steve for working extra hard on the boiler project, because they were in constant meetings with Shannon's and the engineers on that project, and put in a lot of extra time on that, so much appreciated. If you look down on this is new flooring in this room. And the baseboard, Gene redid the baseboard in here. It was old baseboard, and so we've got the historic baseboard back up, which is nice. And then new flooring in the room next door too. I had some water issues in there, and so it had to be repaired. And I don't know, the pictures are kind of self-explanatory. Any questions about any other projects going on? I know Howard Davis, he helped out with electrical in the gym recently, and we have more outlets in there, which were much needed. For when we have events in there, it was a struggle to have everybody's equipment plugged in. So that's all I have.
You know, when I was going through pictures and deciding what to put in here, it was very interesting to remember. It seems like it was a lifetime ago already that so much of this happened. It happened really fast. There were changes every day. It was a bit of an emotional process to go down there and see some of the changes that were happening. The craftsmanship that we observed, that we saw, that it just was really very incredible to see it all as it was coming apart in stages. But the thing that was most incredible to me to remember was that all of that happened in 1912. 1909, 1910, 1911, 1912. It's unbelievable the work that happened, and it didn't happen with, they didn't have a bobcat, they didn't have a skid steer, it was all block and tackle, hand and men power. So it was really very incredible to watch. Jim, I don't remember right offhand, those tanks were 18 feet long?
Approximately.
And how much did they weigh?
I don't have a weight, but they were heavy wall tanks.
Yes.
The boilers themselves.
I meant to bring a piece of it upstairs so that you could see it today, and I will put it up so that people can see it in the building, but I kept a piece of it. It's about this big and about this tall, but the steel's about that thick, and it weighs more than 70 pounds. It's just huge, and it has some of these hot rivets that you see on the side. It looks like porcupine, like quills, like armor on the side of the tank. Those were all hand forged. It just was very, very interesting. And the construction crews were very good about sharing with us what they were doing. One of the other pictures that you see, two of the other pictures, up on the top of page 11 is a trench that runs in the basement of Backus. It runs the full length of the hallway, and that was a decision that we really struggled with. We did. The ABE team came to us, and they really were nearly out of options, and to say no could have been a no-go for the entire AB project. So we really waited. We entered into a very sound agreement with them, and they ran their sanitary sewer through the Backus basement out to 5th Street. They did a beautiful job. They got the concrete out, they dug by hand, they used small machinery. There were no issues at all. The concrete was replaced, everything was cleaned up, and it's beautiful. It was really very well done. But that, when I looked at those pictures, the stress levels came back up. I thought, oh, yeah, I remember that. You know, we've all lived in either new construction or remodeled construction. We've lived in sheetrock, we've lived in mud. That's not a good fit for me. But it's very clean and things are solid. They guaranteed it would be back in the same condition that they found it or better, and it is. So it's good. It's very good. In the springtime, they will finish making the connection of the sanitary sewer out front. That's why there's mud in 5th Street in front of us. They have to make that final connection for the sanitary sewer and for the water lines, everything. They'll finish all of that up, and then they will retar that. But that's why it's a bit of a mess. It's not because something isn't working, but they need to make a connection. They did run into a little hiccup when they got down into the street, but they have a plan to get that taken care of, and then they'll make that connection. So there just has been a lot, but we will bring some of those pieces upstairs so that you all can see the boiler pieces, how beautiful the condition of the tubes that carried all that steam and that water. It was remarkable, wasn't it, Wah? You would think after 111 years there'd be wear, and there wasn't.
It is, the material is just more quality than what we have now, of those tubes.
Yeah. Yeah. John, I can hear John Faith. I told you. I can hear him. On page 12, we listed out all of our sponsors for our performing arts for 2022 and 2023. Again, when you see these businesses, patronize these businesses, thank them for their support for Backus Arts. They help us to put on the concerts and the shows that we put on for our community. They help us to keep our ticket cost low so that people can come. We also give free tickets away to people so that we can, who maybe can't afford or can't buy tickets, so that we can have them come and enjoy the arts as well. On the next page, there's information a little bit about the Backus programs. First listed is KCC TV. Then under Backus Music, we have the Rainy Lake Community Orchestra, and they have anywhere between 15 and 20 members, but at practice they consistently have about 15 people. So it's beautiful. I like to go upstairs when they're having practice. The Rainy Lake Chimes, they have 2 handbell choirs because they had more people than they had bells. So they formed 2. They have an intermediate group and an advanced group, and there are 15 people that go up and they play. It's beautiful to listen to them. We have a community band, which is something really new, and Michelle, I think it's going to be a little seasonal, maybe. But I think you had up to about 20 people, and it fluctuates in number. But we're encouraging people in our community that maybe played an instrument in school or what have you to go in the closet, dust off your instrument, bring it in, and just play with the rest of the people. You don't have to be perfect, but do come in and play. It's surprising how quickly those skills come back. We have a junior orchestra. We have young children who are taking violin, and we even had a little guy that was taking bass fiddle, 2 of them, I think. So it's fun to watch these little kids. Jim, your granddaughter, is playing, and they all do beautifully. They have a great time with Kathy Tompkins, and they really are doing well, and they get to play with the orchestra when we have performances. And as I said earlier, we have music lessons. We have about 30 people enrolled in private music lessons. The Borealis Bards is still our Backus Community Theater, and they've always had productions, but they are now just beginning to make preparations for a musical this spring. And there will be auditions at the end of February, early March. And Michelle, what are you planning for?
It's called Is There a Doctor in the House? It's a good old slapstick comedy set in the Old West, small town humor, small town jokes. Bunch of quacks. They all think they're doctors, and none of them are actual doctors. They try to cure people, and it's hilarious. So, and you don't have to be a great singer. Everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can sing well enough." Well, if you get enough there, you're fine. Just blend on in. So, but there are some solo singing spots too. So if that's something you're interested in, hopefully.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're encouraging everyone from the community and trying to get the message out that you don't have to be a member of the Borealis Bards. You just come and experience theater. So Donna, if you couldn't, I don't know if you could hear Michelle, but they're going to do, is there a doctor in the house? I know. And Donna has been, she's on the Arts and the Arts and Programming Committee, and she has been kind of strongly recommending to us that we do some shorter plays and some smaller productions and really get the theater introduced to our public. So we want to do that. So be watching for those little one-act kind of things that if you've ever toyed with the idea of becoming part of a theatrical group, this would be a great opportunity. So Donna, when you're home, we're going to be talking more about that. We still have our Backus food programs. Community Cafe, January 1, went back to dining indoors. And it's been such a positive, good thing for the people who are staying. They like to sit down with other people at a real table with a real plate and real silverware and hot food and company. It's great. It's great. We miss that. When we had to go to carry out at COVID, we did it out of necessity. But when we had an opportunity to bring it back in-house, it's been very good. The people who are staying are really enjoying it. I think we even see a few new people that we haven't seen in a long time. So it's been really good. Our numbers are a bit low yet, but we're promoting and trying to get people to come back indoors to have dinner at Community Cafe. We served in 2023, we served 17,628 meals. Summer lunch for kids in 2023 ran from June until August, and we served 3,901 lunches to area school children. Sometimes it's a sad statistic, but area students, sometimes lunch is the only thing that they eat. And that's just a tender spot for us. So we continue to run our summer lunch program, and we're looking ahead to the coming year and the program that we will run. Again, everything is dine in right here on site with us. It's great to interact with the kids. We have a great time. Backus is also the home for some recreational activities. We have bridge clubs that come here, and I see some of you here who like to come and play bridge. We have 3 different groups that come in, and we have anywhere between 8 and 16 people on those 3 different days and nights when people come to play bridge. We have co-ed volleyball that just started, and they have a number of people. Steve, how many people come and play?
Usually enough for 8 people on a side, so like 16 people.
Mm-hmm. And rotating in.
Rotate in every serve, so there's room for more.
Yep. It's a lot of fun in all skill levels, I understand.
Yes.
Yes. It's good. We also have pickleball happening, and there are a lot of people who are they're really interested, curious about pickleball, so they've been coming to play. And the pickleball team just tonight now asked me for a second night because they have so many people who are coming, but they're playing in shifts so that everybody can play. It's great. And everybody pays $2 a head, and that just helps to cover the utilities, but they have a great time. So it's been a lot of fun to have pickleball and volleyball here. Any questions about the activities or the arts? Okay. The last pages of your document, Tracy, do you want to talk about these or?
The membership and stuff? Or?
Yeah. There's not a lot to talk about, but I think it's interesting to see everyone's the number of donations, things that are coming into our various programs, and you will also see our membership. We list out all of our members. If there are any misspelling of names, which there could be, we caught a few, didn't we? Or if we have left anyone out, please know that it wasn't intentional, and if you let us know, we will certainly make that correction. We have contributions and donations that were made in honor of and in memory of people, and those, when contributions come into us in honor of or memory of people, those contributions go to our endowment fund. We still have seat sponsorships. And I think that is all in our annual report this year. Are there any questions or We're always looking for feedback, input, suggestions of things you would like to see at Backus. If anyone has any here tonight, you can certainly raise them now, or if you want to come and stop in and talk with us, please know our office door is open and you're very welcome to come. Are there any questions or comments? There you go. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so after that review of all of those reports, the next section, we're going to have Tom take over. Just kidding. I figured. I mean, we could see it could happen. No. So our next item, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we have anything, but is just old business. And we don't have anything on the agenda, but we do want to have an opportunity for any of the members here. Any business items that you want to discuss or bring up. Can be old or new, however you see or define that. So I don't think we need a motion or anything for any of that. Okay. Okay. Normally we have items to go through, so I didn't know how to proceed. So then also we have new business, but there's nothing listed. But again, we can't express anymore, just on behalf of the board, that we appreciate your involvement at Backus. You're coming here tonight to hear about the year recap, however you share in the programs at Backus, whether if you come to performances or if you come to Community Cafe or if you share at pickleball or whatever you do at Backus. We just really appreciate your involvement and your energy and your participation. So I want to give you an opportunity if you have any business items you want to share. Going once? Do I have to do it 3 times? No? Okay. The other thing that just as a board member that I want to make known or just say as an item here at the meeting, just as a reminder to members, is the board does have an email that we check regularly. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it is shared in our newsletter. You can stop me afterwards and I can find it for you. I think it's something like backusboard@gmail.com.
Remember, it's also on the website.
Yeah, and it's on the website, but grab any one of us and we can get it to you. It is only read by the board members and filtered and responded to by the board members. So if you have any direct input that you want directly to the board members, we have that email as a venue. And we also, at our board meetings, we've made it a point to have an open forum time for if you have something you want to come and talk about or if you have questions, you don't need to let us know ahead of time. Just come, you're welcome. We want to hear from people and we want to hear any ideas, questions, comments. And so we've set aside time at every monthly board meeting for that if you want to come. So we just want to know everybody's welcome and invited to that. So with that, yep.
Prize.
Oh.
Prizes.
All right, well,
Tracy, maybe we'll drop.
sure. Is that okay? So now with WA's approval, I think we can adjourn. But again, thank you all for coming out tonight. Lovely to see everybody and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.